everyone! So today we're starting our first episode of Dolly Diaries for 2017. And if you didn't know, if you're new to this channel, Dolly Diaries is our Dolly vlog series where we show some of the behind the scenes stuff that we do with our dolls, whether it's stuff we do for YouTube or for Flickr or just regular doll maintenance or fun stuff. Sometimes we even throw in a few like mini hauls if it's not enough to make a whole video on. We've been doing this really big reorganization project this week.
We actually have a couple reorganization projects going on at once.
We have a lot of projects always going on. Besides rearranging our playsets and our vehicles and the dolls themselves, we also decided that we wanted to go through our clothes. So we have a whole system of bagging our clothes. If you're interested in knowing like all the details, I have a video on how I store doll clothes. But basically, we have a bunch of baggies of doll clothes organized into drawers by type of doll, and then for some of them by decade, and then like fashion pack or original outfit. And things kind of get a little crazy. Sometimes things go in the wrong drawer once in a while. Not all.
I actually did find two things in the wrong drawer though while we were doing this.
Yeah, it doesn't happen for how many clothes?
No.
But in the beginning, when I started bagging clothes in like 2013 or the end of 2012, I would use two big bags for some of this stuff.
Case in point.
Case in point. This is like a little, you can easily put all this stuff in a regular sandwich bag. And so what we're doing is we're going through each baggie, Colleen's checking to see if things need to be washed, things need to be mended.
I found a lot of mending in the skipper drawer.
And also I have a few like things in my Brad's case that like were new clothes that went with old fashion packs that we just hadn't had time to photograph yet. So we were doing that too. And
we're checking the information on these labels to make sure it's accurate.
And we're putting things that need smaller bags in smaller bags, and things that need to be in bigger bags in bigger bags, and replacing labels. And also, I am going through my Flickr right now and like checking all of my old pictures, like album by album. And basically, I'm trying to re-edit some of my old pictures and see how they look once they're re-edited. So once they like have the lighting adjusted or like straightened out and cropped again. But sometimes they need to be replaced anyways because maybe they were blurry or they're a really weird angle or there's just something wrong with the photo. So I'm doing that too.
Once I have these organized, like right now I have a massive pile.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Massive pile of our 2000s Barbies fashions on the floor.
That's
what I'm going to do is, as I'm going through them, I'm looking at each item, seeing if it's ripped or visibly dirty or smells weird. And if it's not, I put it in another pile by year. And if it is, I set it aside but kind of near the stuff from that year. And then she goes through, she checks all the labels, and something like this, she's going to, we realized that peeling these off, like, this one's already coming off, so I'll probably just take this one off and try to move it to another bag.
A lot of times it rips the bag, though, and it rips the bag. We've been saving all the two big bags and putting them in my dollhouse drawer.
Because sometimes we'll get new American Girl clothes, which need the bigger bags, and we won't have anywhere to put them.
And then the stuff that needs to be mended goes in that basket. That's my Batman pillow. I need to fix it. It exploded in the dryer when I washed it.
This is all the stuff I've found so far that needs mending.
I think it's really handy to have like a place just for like things that need to be mended.
So I think the biggest challenge to doing this particular drawer is that it's going all the way from 2000 to current day for fashion packs. And because of Toys R Us and their sales and finding like bins of like fashionistas type stuff, we actually do have a lot of like 2010s fashions. So there's actually multiple decades in this, so it's kind of like the 80s drawer that way, meaning I'm going to have more piles, but they'll be smaller. So lucky me, this is one of the labels that actually was transferable to a new bag. So if it's something like just a towel, I don't actually check. It's usually where things have closures that they're ripped. And I can see this through here. There's nothing wrong with it. So I also have a separate pile for play sets, so we can check the years on those bags and anything that looks ripped. But that's from our Bubbles and Bath house, so there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. Year are we stopping?
We're doing 60s to 80s plus Friends, and then 90s and 2000s are in their own container.
Oh, I thought that's what you said on Skipper.
It happens to work out the same.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
But it's because there's so many 90s and 2000s, and there's like 25 and 20 something. Right now we're going through our doll containers, and slowly moving people out. So we bought 6 containers at Walmart that are smaller size. They're 64 quarts, and 4 of them were for my 2000s Barbies, and 2 of them are going to my 80s Barbies, because it just makes more sense for us to have our Barbies and like larger collections divided into slightly smaller, more manageable containers. That way, if we need to take dolls out for photos or just for fun stuff, or we're putting people away, or whatever the case may be, it's easier to find them, and it puts less weight on the dolls, especially with older dolls like Barbies from the 80s with really fragile necks, or like Skipper. You don't want a ton of weight being put on them. So for Ken, we had to do something a little bit different. I'll show you in a minute. Ken dolls are a lot bigger, and to put them in tiny containers isn't super practical because they're very bulky. So we're keeping them in these big containers over here. As you can see, they have reached to the top. The lid barely closes. And I have...
This is after we took out the Mycene guys.
Yeah. I have a bunch of these big containers because I've been emptying dolls out of them for like a while now. I had 90s Barbies in 2 of them, then we had 2000s Barbies in another one. So there's these 2, and we're going to split them up half and half. So you can fit about 100 Ken dolls in one of these big containers pretty comfortably. Like, you couldn't add any more realistically, but that means that about 50 are going to go in one and 50 are going to go in another. Roughly, there's going to be a little bit more in one. So I looked at my list, and in one container we're going to have our 60s, 70s, and 80s Ken dolls plus Ken's friends, because we don't have many Ken friends. And then the other container we're going to have 90s and 2000s Ken dolls, and we get the most duplicates in that category and stuff, so it just makes more sense to only have those 2 decades together. So that's what we're going to do now. And I'm going to make some labels while Colleen starts pulling the dolls out. Also, we're going to wipe down each doll with a wet cloth and then with a dry cloth, like you guys saw me doing in one of my other Dolly Diaries.
When I did it on the 2000s Barbie, somebody admitted I cheated a little. The wet cloth rubbed off onto the dry cloth, so it was like not really wet or dry, it was like damp. So I ended up mostly just using that.
And we're also going to be changing dryer sheets and stuff. And I like to label both sides of the containers so that whatever way we put them back on the shelves, it doesn't matter. We can tell who's in them.
Oh, this is like my favorite Ken doll.
Something I recommend too is if you're reorganizing your dolls for storage, and if you're a collector who's constantly adding new dolls to your collection and expanding out your collection, I would definitely say make sure to accommodate enough realistic throwing room. So it took us like legit 6 years to fill up one of these huge hand tubs because we've just been getting a lot in bins. Because we only had like 12 when we were growing up. So it's better to have more at growing room if you need it than for it to just fit. Now if you weren't buying any dolls, it would make sense to get a container that fit everybody perfectly. And I've also have a list of photos I need to retake for Ken. I know this looks huge, but there's a lot of things crossed off it already. So while we're going through the containers, I thought it just made more sense to go through all of my Flickr pictures in each album and decide what I wanted to retake. So some of these are outfits that we need to take pictures of again, and some of it's just like faces. It's mostly faces because as much as I'd like to all the body photographs to be like perfect, we're always getting duplicates or better clothes, so those photos are going to get replaced anyways, whereas the facial close-ups are the most important for identification and they don't change. So I thought it would be better to have like really on point facial close-ups. I mean, obviously if there's like a really ugly body photograph, I'm going to replace it, or like if it's just really weird for some reason. And I also have like an ongoing list of Disney retakes. And these are like what's left of Barbies. So we did 2000s Barbies last night, but these are the dolls that are drying on the bed who just had their hair redone. And these are some original outfits. We haven't gone through that clothing thing yet. These are 60s, 70s, and 80s retakes. These are all of the 90s retakes that I missed before. And then I have like friends. I recopied these lists because they got really messy. So
Jeffrey's head fell off again.
Oh no!
Where is it? For a minute I was upset and I'm like, oh, that's just Jeffrey. He's always doing that. His head rolls off.
Yeah. This is a while later. We really haven't had a lot of time or motivation to work on doll stuff. Today we just filmed the rest of my transformation video, my first one for 2017, and those dolls are over here on the desk, and it's currently uploading. Currently, we're trying to work on undressing our 80s Barbies that we're redoing, like we're rewashing them, because we reorganized them into slightly bigger containers. I think we're gonna have to get one more though. Making people naked.
I'm paring off the earrings and putting them in the jewelry bags so we don't lose any of our homemade earrings.
And I'm taking out like hair elastics and stuff ahead of time. And I don't know if maybe later tonight or tomorrow we'll clean these guys. Hopefully we'll get some of them done tomorrow, but there's about 40 dolls. And we want to film some stuff.
Yeah, while I'm home.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I don't have like stuff on the computer right now. Because in the fall, like September, October, Colleen was working like after school hours. So because I drive her to school back and forth, 'cause she doesn't drive. Because she was working later hours, I had more time to like film and edit when I was.
Should I put this in the jewelry bag?
Yeah, when I wasn't busy doing other stuff. But then when her hours got cut again, that really diminished the time I had to film videos, because before I could film like a few a day and edit them and like take the thumbnails and stuff.
Why is it my fault you haven't been filming as much?
No, it's not your fault. I'm just saying that I don't have as much time.
Barbie, that's not what I'm hearing here. I'm hearing that it's my fault that she hasn't been filming as much.
I'm saying that the day goes by really fast, especially when I'm doing stuff. Adult things.
You do adult things? This is news to me.
I just don't have a stockpile of videos anymore.
Actually, it's funny that you bring up doing adult things while we have all these naked 80s Barbies. I'm going to tell a little story.
Oh, no.
2 years ago, it was the day like Thanksgiving break let out. And I was waiting outside the school I work at for her to pick me up. I was waiting in the rain with a Thanksgiving card that one of my students gave me. Waiting in the rain. Freezing in the rain. She picked me up and she's like, I'm so sorry. Guess where she was? She was here at home playing with her 80s Barbies. She was so busy fooling around with her 80s Barbies and she forgot about
I
me.
was rephotographing them.
Yeah, at that time my Thanksgiving card got all
Okay, but you
wet.
can't complain. I have waited for you my whole life. Dad wouldn't even let me get on the bus without you. And you like,
Okay, she's raising good point.
I wait for you sometimes for half an hour after school when I pick you up. You keep people waiting all the time, okay?
Yeah, it's not just her either. I kind of have a track record. Oh, I almost walked right over the tripod.
Yeah, don't break my camera. That's my only one.
I won't break the camera. I don't break things. It's not me. I don't break things and I'm never late.
So,
I
on the
watched
desk
4
there.
Ken dolls this morning.
Yeah, they're redressed. Sorry about the weird sunlight. And my video is uploading right now, so.
And those are the new people.
Yep.
That are still wearing clothes and looking.
Not Barbie. She's just hanging out.
She's chilling out.
So, it is the next day. Actually, it's in the evening, if you can't tell, because it's dark outside. And the guinea pigs are eating their dinner. In here in the living room, we have all the dolls that we washed. There's about 40. We managed to get them done in like probably an hour and a half, which was really good timing, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, we're flying.
Yeah, it's because I ended up using 2 boil wash bowls, so I had one in the microwave while I was using one, because these dolls are really fast to clean because it was just like one shampoo and a quick condition and they don't really need to be detangled or anything. So we're going to dress them. We have their clothes in this big tub here that Colleen used to keep Molly's tea set in, some of the jewelry in the Bratz case, and my hairstyling tools, and of course all of the dollies.
Way of dealing with dressing dolls is I just look at the top of the clothes thing and like I know this is on Julia.
Yep.
So I'm just now going to go look for Julia and dress Julia.
And I'm just going to do people's hair kind of like as closest to me than to whoever's furthest from
I
me.
just go by which clothes are most conveniently located.
Well, hello everyone. So it's been a little while since I filmed the last clip with Colleen and I in the living room going through our 80s Barbies. They're all dressed now. I haven't put them away yet. I was going to yesterday, but I ended up kind of forgetting about it, to be honest. So I'll show you guys them. So they're just in this little gray container for now. They're all dressed up. I want to check and make sure that the dolls that like are singles or all the duplicates got washed. If they need a new photo, the 2 Jewel Secrets Kens here waiting for their photo, because this Ken's hair looks a lot better. Like, look at this stud muffin. He is actually from a charity store. His legs were off when I found him. You can tell that they kind of have like an awkward gait, and he was wearing this really disgusting outfit. But we found him this outfit at the flea market this summer, and he's even more handsome than my nice guy. Then I'm also working on making some photos live on Flickr. So this is my camera roll. So this was stuff I worked on yesterday. So that was my post for the Why I Love American Girls video. But then all of these pictures down here are photos I had to type like personal fun facts on. So basically what I like to do, I have a guide on Flickr, if you guys don't know. So every single doll I own, all of the outfits I've identified, all of the playsets I've identified, all of that is on my Flickr. And there's other stuff too, but that's the core of it, is a guide. So I take pictures of my dolls, so I have like body photographs with all the duplicates, facial close-ups, and then if I have their outfits or accessories. That's why there's so many pictures. These are the dolls from my last transformation album video, Unexpected Arrivals. And these are also some dolls featured in the Unexpected Arrivals haul video, and some clothes. So basically what I like to do is I like to upload them to Flickr after they've been edited, but I private them so I can format like the titles and the basic format of the description that has like the date and the body molds and any important notes. And then as I have time, I go through and I write my little personal fun facts on them. And I've had some of these up for a while, but I just ended up like getting sick a few weeks ago and then just getting really busy, so I kind of kept forgetting to do the fun facts on some of these guides. But I did them yesterday, so all I have to do is move them to today's time, because this is yesterday, and make them live. And I have to move Gloom Beach Draculaura with her outfit that I got, because I like to keep the sets of 3 together. So that's her outfit, so she'll be moving. And yeah, I mean, look how many photos I have. That's insane that I have 9,413 photos. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that I can get a new cartridge for my printer down here. This is Mr. Kodak. That's his name. He's a Kodak printer, a Kodak hero, and I like to print a lot of doll guides that I make. And on my sister's Google Drive, I have like tons and tons of doll guides, and I don't have any printed pages for my Ever After High guide. But one of the problems with this kind of printer, Kodak doesn't make printers anymore, is the printer cartridges. So what holds the ink and like shoots the ink out, they wear out easily, and I already had to replace it one time, like within the first 6 months of getting this printer. But that was like a long time ago. We've had this for like 4.5 years now. So it wore out and it's not printing black anymore, and I've done everything. I've cleaned it, I've manually cleaned it, I've changed the ink. So we need to order that. We have to wait until Colin gets paid. Then hopefully I can print out my Ever After High guide and add it to my little collection here of all of my different books. With you guys in a little bit, I don't know when. It's kind of gloomy out, so I can't film anything. It's been raining, it was supposed to snow, but Colin and I will check in with you guys later. Why, hello everyone. It has been a while since I picked up the camera and filmed, but I wanted to show you 2 things. So I was at the Salvation Army this weekend with my sister because my uncle had to look at some stuff on my Jeep. The never-ending vehicle problems. So this is a really cool American Girl pen pal set, and I spotted this in the book section before we left. So this was the same Salvation Army that my Monster and Ever After High dolls from my last transformation video, Unexpected Arrivals, were from. They didn't have any really decent dolls, but they did have this super awesome like pen pal set. It has all these really cute stickers, ribbons, little notepad, and then my favorite part of these postcard things. I'm very nostalgic for this because this is the era of American Girl stuff that I had, and no one ever used this, so I'm going to use these sheets for a collage that I'm making that I'm going to hang above my desk of like pictures of my American Girl dolls and things. So I thought that this would be really handy because like I don't need to use it for pen pal stuff. So that's really cool, and once I'm done using all the stuff in it, I can even recycle some of the images on this case. And then something I wanted to show you guys is one of you sent me a little thing of artwork for my channel. So this was by the user Master of 4 Elements. Thank you so much. I got this last week and I printed it out on computer paper, but I'm gonna put it on photo paper after and hang it somewhere really cool. But I really love this. This made my whole day. Look how cute that is. And it has like, you can't really see because my printer didn't do the best job picking this up, but it says love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life all around. And I love Colleen. It's so cute and it's in the shape of a heart. Thank you so much. This seriously made my day, and I'm definitely going to put it in a really cool spot. This isn't going to be quite as long of a video as I usually do for Dolly Diaries, because Colleen and I have been filming parts of this for over a month now. It wasn't our intention. When I started filming, she was on Christmas vacation and we had a lot of spare time and we were doing a lot of projects and we were really motivated, and then I don't know, just a lot of stuff has gone on since the new year started, and it's just been kind of difficult to really feel like pulling out the camera and filming little vlog style clips. And a lot of what we've been doing hasn't been really that interesting. I've been editing pictures on my Flickr, and Colleen's been helping me go through containers and retake pictures of dolls we need and all that. But I will be showing more of that process in my next Dolly Diaries video. So I thought before I'd go, I'd just have a little chat with you guys. I've been going through a few things lately, and I thought that maybe my experience and my outlook on this experience might be something that you guys can relate to, or might help you if you're going through something similar. That I am, generally speaking, I try to be a really happy, positive person. And I think people assume that once you achieve a certain level of positivity or happiness, that it's really easy and that it comes naturally. And the truth of the matter is that being happy takes a lot of work, and being positive takes a lot of work. Not all of us are naturally born with this amazing attitude. I wish I could be more like my sister. She's always really happy and bubbly, and ever since we were little, the first words out of her mouth in a bad situation are, look at the bright side. And that's not who I always was. I think because I'm naturally a more moody person, and because I lost my mom at a really young age, I think that kind of made me really cynical and skeptical, and kind of to survive through life, I tended to anticipate the worst of people and the worst of situations. And even though I've slowly kind of undone that way of thinking in the past few years, it's not something that happens overnight. You can decide and realize that you're living your life the wrong way and that you're not happy in an instant, but it doesn't take that instant to actually change your behavior. It's something that takes a long, long time to do, and even when you're in a really good place, sometimes you have setbacks, or sometimes you have moments where you're just in a funk, and it could be for little things or bigger things. But for me, I think part of it's been the weather has been really bad. It's sunny today, but the weather's been bad, and that kind of bums me out. And there's just been a lot of little stuff that's gone on that's inconvenient, a lot of vehicle problems. And then I got in an accident yesterday because of the snow. Someone rear-ended me, but don't worry, everything was fine. Only my Jeep was affected. His bumper's a little bent in, but he's not going in any beauty pageants anytime soon, so I'm not worried about it. I told the guy not to worry about it because it was really slippery out there, and I didn't see the point in making a huge deal over it. It is kind of that sort of thing gets me really anxious, and it's not the sort of thing that I obsess in. And that's something that I really try to personally work on, is not obsessing in little stuff. I tend to worry about things like money, or if I know I'm gonna have to pay something to get something fixed, or if I get in a little fender bender, which that was only my second accident ever. Those things really stress me out, and I tend to let them bum me out. I think that that's part of why I haven't been feeling as motivated to get stuff done. And I just want to say that the way that I deal with that is to just try every day to wake up and try to be happy, and try to find the good in the little things. Because the thing is, life is never perfect, and there's always going to be those bumps in the road, and it's easier to be happy when things are going your way. I think the true test of if you're a happy, positive person is if you can find reasons to smile in the dark times. I think every day it's just something you have to strive for and make a really huge effort for, and I feel like I've kind of gotten myself out of that funk now. I'm going to try to keep moving forward and try to really focus on the things that are good. And I've realized that in life, material items and money and success and that flashy stuff, that's not really what makes you happy. It's not those big moments, those grand moments in life that you take with you. It's those little things. It's those little moments that you don't even think about that become part of who you are and are the reasons that you wake up. So if you're going through a hard time, find something small, find something, the smallest, most insignificant thing. If it's looking forward to eating a warm breakfast, or if it's looking forward to seeing somebody during the day, or if you like a sunny day or you like a rainy day, find those little things and hold on to that. If it's your dolls, whatever it is, focus on those things and block all that other stuff out. For me, I live for waking up in the morning and seeing my guinea pigs run around because they're excited about eating, and watching Roxy's face when she flips the igloo over and how proud she is, and how Nevaeh will leave Colleen and come over to me and will give me lots and lots of guinea pig kisses, and how Isla eats everything when we take her out of the cage, and how Andy likes to knock stuff off the coffee tables and sleep right next to the wood stove, and how Oliver has his, we call it psychotic breaks, where he runs around the house crying, and he shows his big Buddha belly. Hi, Ollie. He just came in to say hi. I live for when I'm just driving around to pick up my sister and I'm listening to my favorite CD, or when I stop at the farm I work at and I can see all the chickens see my Jeep pull in and they all come running to the edge of the fence because they're so excited that I have treats for them. Like those moments at night when Colleen and I are talking and we have some inside joke and we end up laughing so hard that we're almost crying. Or when we go to the flea market when it's nice out and we're really amped about finding good stuff, or when we have all our American Girl dolls out because we're dressing them. Those are the moments that I live for. You don't need a lot of things in life to be happy. You don't need a lot of flashy stuff. And if you just focus on those little things, it gets easier. And it does get easier to be positive and be happy. You just have to work at it. It's like anything else in life. If you want something, you have to be willing to put the work into it. And when things start to go bad and your hopes start to falter, you just have to keep pushing through. Even if you feel like you're on a treadmill sometimes and good things happen and then bad things kind of take those good things away. And I always feel like that. I always feel like we move forward and then we move 2 steps back. And you just have to kind of not think that way and not focus on the situation that way. And that really got me through. Before I go, I want to leave you guys with a quote from a song that really helps me when I'm feeling down. It's Little Wonders by Rob Thomas, and basically it's about living for those little moments and keeping into perspective what your life really is, and to realize that you've been through a lot worse, and that if you just focus on the good things in those little moments, that's where you'll find happiness and clarity. And it goes like this. Let it go, let it roll right off your shoulders, don't you know? The hardest part is over. Let it in, let your clarity define you in the end. You will only just remember how it feels. Our lives are made of these small hours, these little wonders, these twists and turns of fate. Time falls away, but these small hours still remain. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.